A very good afternoon to everybody present over here. Myself, Dr. Paramita Dev, coordinator of IQAC of Bengal School of Technology, welcome you all in the 2 days in-house faculty development program 2022 on quality audits and accreditation process. I am very much thankful to our advisor, Professor Dr. Pranavesh Chakraborty, and our principal sir, Dr. P. Suresh, for helping us to organize this program in our college. And therefore, I would like to request our principal sir to say something regarding this importance of the program in the college. So please.
Thank you, Dr. Paramita Dev, ma'am. Good afternoon. Subha Navavarsh. Thank you. I, in the core of my heart, extend you all a cordial welcome to this 1 day to 2 days DP program on NAC and MBA. As you all know, this institute is accredited by NAC and institute is accredited by NBA also for the B.Pharm program. NAC is an institution-based accreditation, whereas NBA is program-based accreditation. This NBA is accredited or institute is accredited by NBA for the B.Pharm program. Fortunately, the renewal process, the reassessment visit for NAC and NBA both will be in this Subha Navavarsh. So, we are to leave no stone unturned and no effort left untouched to see that the institute improves in the gradation system. For that, the various facets of MBA and NAC, right from the concept till the critical assessment parameters, need to be understood thoroughly. This internal FDP is an humble attempt to quickly review the various facets of NAC and MBA. Having accredited by the NBA and NAC, we have to submit the AQAR annual quality assurance report of NAC to the authority. And the compliance report for NBA is to submit it. Both these things are submitted already. I appreciate, I place on record my appreciation to all the faculty members, to all the supporting staff, to all those who are indirectly, directly involved in this process for compiling the data. We cannot be complacent with the submission of AQAR or NBA compliance report. We are miles to go, millions to achieve, wonders to achieve. So, from this context, we need to see what are the areas, grey areas of the institution where we need to refocus our attempt, efforts, and how to boost up the remaining other areas. Having submitted this AQAR, we need to submit IAQA, Institutional Information and Quality Assessment, and Self-Study Report SSR. The basic criteria is the institute need to constitute a committee called as IQAC, Internal Quality Assurance Cell. I will be happy if you can put it in the silent mode or switch off mode. So I don't want to take much time. I don't want to shine between you and the eminent speakers of our Internet Record Development Program. I wish the program a grand success, not only in the form of completion, but also in the form of understanding the concept and ready to implement it at any stage of time. So with this, I convey my thanks and wish you all the best. Thank you.
So without wasting any time, I directly go into the program. As per our schedule, we have 2 lectures, one by me, then followed by Mr. Hassan Reza. So after its completion, you will having one evaluation system where you will be giving some MCQ questions and covering the today's topic. So before starting the program, I would like to request all the faculty members that they may put forward their advices, queries, suggestions, everything, but let the speakers first complete their portion, or else we will unable to complete in time. So please cooperate with us and let us start the presentation today. So my portion is the overview of the NAC and MBA, just an introductory portion, because here the faculty members are there who are very much experienced but new to our college, and many of them are very new to this teaching field. So it is very important for all to know that what are the functionalities actually carrying out in our college. And we have a strong team also who already faced the NAC and MBA audits. So comprising of 3 types of faculty members, we can easily carry out the program, and hence we start today. So as we know that the year 2022, where we have to face both the NAC and MBA, so it is necessary that all the faculty members should get acquainted with all kinds of procedures, whatever is happening in the college. The internal FDP program will be helpful for both the teachers, as I have already said, so and also the teachers who have joined after 2017, because we first faced the NAC inspection in the year 2017, and in the year 2019 we faced the NBA. So when any auditor comes and asks any questions regarding the functionalities of our college, it is expected that they would answer properly, because it so happened that in many colleges the auditor may ask any questions to any one of the faculty members. Without any giving any answer will be a bad impression to them. So at least the faculty members should have a minimum idea regarding the every section and every functionalities that is prevailing in our college. So it has been decided that the certificates will be given to the speakers as well as the participants to make a complete internal FDP program. So today's today's topic, the overview that will be given by me, and Hassan Reza sir will mainly concentrate on the accreditation process in purview of the outcome-based education, that is OBE. So I start with the NAC portion first. So the full form is the National Assessment and Accreditation Council. So it is a government organization in India that actually assess and accredits the higher education institutions, and the abbreviated form is HEI. So in many cases we can find the abbreviated form that is HEI. Sometimes we get confused, but it should be taken under consideration that it implies the higher education institutions. It is an autonomous body funded by University Grant Commission, and its headquarters is at Bengaluru. Sometimes so happen that the auditors sit with the students, and during their discussion they ask the student, can you tell me the full form of NAC? So student just show their blank face. So it is if it is possible to the faculty members to teach them the full form, that is what is the full form of NAC, because whatever informations we are getting, the relevant information should be percolated to the students also, because we know that the auditors sit with the students, the auditor sits with the alumni, auditor sits with the faculty members. so on. So I have collected this information from the Google that there are NAC Grades Institute A grade ladder system, and Bengal School of Technology fall under B grade. So it is expected that we have to improve our grading system. And I will recall something that in the year 2017, when the institute thought for the NAC accreditation, the institute was first submit the SSR, that is self-study report. Any institution who is thinking for the NAC accreditation process, they have to first submit one SSR. So in the month of April 2017, we first submitted the SSR, and that SSR was verified by the body of NAC, and in the October 2017, we first faced the NAC inspection. Actually, the SSR what we submitted to the NAC authority, the body comes taking that SSR, because SSR is the self-study. Whatever institute is giving their own informations to the NAC, and the institute, the auditor will come and they will just match the data, whatever the institute has given in the SSR, and whether it is actually prevailing in the institute or not. So that matching is very important. Whatever I wish I can write but in the SSR, but actually it is not happening in the college, that will be a blunder for us. So whatever is happening actually in the college, that should be honestly written in the SSR, because SSR will be that report will be verified by the NAC body. So this is the mission and vision given by the NAC itself. So why for the NAC? Why should a institute go for a NAC accreditation? So to make a quality that defining element higher education in India through a combination of self and external quality evaluation, promotion and sustenance initiatives. The self and external quality evaluation means the institute will first evaluate themselves, the self-evaluation. When they are evaluating that what type of committees are present, what type of infrastructure is there, what type of teaching learning parameters are present over there. So institute will self-assessing themselves and they will report everything in the SSR. So it is a self-assessment as well as the external quality assessment. Why? Because the external body. Let's continue. So the institute will first assess themselves, then the external auditor will come and again the audit and the assessment will carry out. So it's a vision of the NAC. And the mission is to arrange the periodic assessment and accreditation of the institution of higher education or institute, thereof its specific academic programs or projects. To simulate the academic environment for the promotion of quality teaching, learning and research in higher education institution. Because whenever an institute is going for this NAC or MBA accreditation, it automatically comes, the institute will have some infrastructure with respect to its research, with respect to its teaching learning process. So automatically going for this kind of accreditation will lead to a improvement of the infrastructure. So before the institute, our institute, before the NAC, it was not so much systematic. But whenever we approach for this kind of accreditation, the total system comes under one umbrella. So the systematic approach for with respect to its teaching, learning, research and higher education really help us for institute for the accreditation process. To encourage self-evaluation, what I have already discussed, the self-evaluation, autonomy, innovations in higher education. Innovations in higher education also plays an important role. So more or less going for this kind of audit will definitely increase or improve the infrastructure with respect to teaching learning, with respect to research, with respect to consultancy, training programs, and even there will be a good relationships with the stakeholders. The stakeholders can be parents, can be industrial employer, can be faculty members, even the students also. So to carry out a proper management system in a college, NAC has suggested that every accredited college should have an internal quality assurance cell. That means we know very well that we call it as IQSC cell. we have a IQAC cell in the dedicated IQAC room we have in the diploma section of the building, where we can carry out our meetings, we can carry out our different documentation works, etc. So the presence of internal quality assurance cell is an integral part of the NAC body in the college. So what are the functions of the IQAC cell? So development and application of quality benchmarks, that is different quality initiatives. What are the different quality initiatives? Any kind of quality initiatives that is taking place in our college, that should be passed through the meeting of IQAC. As for example, whenever it comes with the teaching learning process or any infrastructure wise, for example, we can say whenever we face the pandemic situation, it was a hurdle for the organization to start a total online teaching process. So we thought for the Google Classroom, then we shifted to Zoom Classroom, then we most systematically go for the LMS system, that is Learning Management System, Olympus Grade Learning. So this improvement from step to step, that is how we can carry out most systematically the teaching learning process in this pandemic situation, was very important, and this decision should be passed through the meeting of IQAC. So IQAC will give a different quality initiatives, not only for the teaching learning, but also for the infrastructure like procurement of any kind of instruments, any kind of books, or whatever libraries we are now having, a new library. So all the infrastructure related programs should pass through the IQAC meeting and through the members who are present in the IQAC cell. Setting parameters to various academic infrastructure, even administrative activities, what I have said just now. So every tidbits, quality initiative, whatever is taking, should be passed through this IQAC body. Collection and analysis of feedback from all the stakeholders. This was totally absent before NAC or NBA, because whatever feedback we are taking from the students, from the faculty members, from the parents, from the not from the teachers, that said, even the employers. So there are 5 stakeholders are present in our call. We make connections with them, we collect the feedback from these stakeholders, we analyze the feedback, and we just overcome all the lacuna that are present, and we just go through all the feedback system. So feedback system help an institute to improve more and more. So these feedback system was not present before NAC, and when an institute like us, we proceed for this NAC and this accreditation process, we started with these facets, with these arena we emphasize, and as a result we all make the documentations of all these things, and we finally show all those documents to the auditors. Preparation and submission of the AQAR. What Principal Sir has already told, that AQAR is Annual Quality Assurance Report. This Annual Quality Assurance Report is submitted every year to the NAC body. And we have already submitted of the year session 2017-18, 18-19, 19-20, 20-21. So every last 4 years we have already submitted the AQAR. Submission of AQAR is mandatory to the NAC. Otherwise there will be the cancellation, or there will be a remark from the NAC authority itself. So submission of this AQAR under this IQAC cell, under the IQAC cell plays an important role. So this is the composition of the IQAC members. There should be a chairperson, teachers, 1 member from management, 1 senior teacher as a coordinator, administrative officer, 1 nominee of the student from alumni, 1 nominee from the employers. So compiling all the members, we have the following IQAC member composition in our college, where Dr. Pranabesh Chakraborty, advisor, Mr. Dilip Kumar Mondol is the management representative, Dr. P. Suresh, the coordinator, Dr. Shudip Kaur, chief mentor, and other faculty members are also there, like Dr. Dharmajit Pattanayak, Mr. Atanu Chatterjee, Mrs. Soumya Das, Mr. K.H. Reza, Dr. Bishojit Bosu, Mrs. Dishari Datta, Dr. Raja Mujumdar, Mr. Vishwanath Ghosh, Mrs. Shudipta Roy, and Mr. Oyun Datto. So these are the members of the IQAC committee that are present in our college, and the committee is running very smoothly. They are doing a number of activities throughout the year. They have taken a number of quality initiatives throughout the year. They have successfully submitted the AQAR system, and hence we are going in a full pace to face the audit in the present year. So as I have discussed that NAC has to the NAC we have to submit one AQAR. So what are the points that are present in the AQAR? Rather, what are the important criteria that are present in the AQAR? An AQAR comprises of 7 criteria. Okay, so number 1 criteria is the curricular aspect. 2 is the teaching, learning and evaluation. 3 is the research, innovation and extension. 4 is the infrastructure and learning resources. 5 is the students' support and progression. 6 is the faculty empowerment and strategy, and institutional values and best practices, that is criteria 7. So these criteria are the headline. Under this criteria there are a number of sub-criteria are there. Various teachers are involved in compiling various data throughout the year so that we can easily submit the AQAR to the NAC. So these are the criteria coordinators. Criteria 1 is built by Dr. Dharmjit Pattanayak, 2 by Mr. Atanu Chatterjee, 3 Mrs. Shudipta Roy, 4 by Dr. Raja Mojumdar and Mrs. Soumya Das, 5 Mr. Obhijit De, Mrs. Dishari Datta deal with the criteria 6, and K.H. Hassan Reza sir deal with criteria 7. So these are the criteria that we have to submit, that we have to fill up. We have to submit every year in the NAC. So the minutes of the meeting of the NAC, it is mandatory to will get AQAR of the last 4 years. So everything that we are compiling in the data-wise manner has to be displayed in the college website. So college website should be well equipped with every informations, so that whenever the NAC auditors come, by checking the website they can get a number of informations from there also, without asking to any personal teachers or any students. So during filing up of the AQAR in the session 2020-21, the format has been changed or rather modified a little bit, where a number of data templates are present. So data templates are nothing but the table format of informations, like number of seminars attained in the class throughout the year, or the number of students who have placed in the campus interview, or the number of students that have taken the training from the institute. So there are a number of informations, they are given in a table format, that they are called as the data template. So sometimes so happen that the NAC auditor during the discussion they are using the term data template. So data template is nothing but data template are some tabular form of informations that they are that they want from the institute itself. So if you go and visit the website of our college, you will get 4 years of AQAR already uploaded in our college website, and you will get a data template also with the new version, that is the modified version of the year 2021. So if the institution does not submit the AQAR in time, it will be recorded as a late submission. So what I have told, that it is a mandatory for all the institute for the second cycle of audit or anything, that yearly they have to submit the AQAR. So the same will be reflected on the notification in the HEI as well as the NAC portal, and auto-generated email will be sent to the institution as late submission. So it is not a very good idea or decision to make too much late to submit the AQAR. So the IQSS cell should be enough serious that time to time the AQAR should be submitted, or else it will be a comment as a late submission. So if the institute does not respond for the clarification sought and do not re-edit the AQAR within the stipulated time, then 3 reminders will be given. It may so happen you have already posted or you have already sent the AQAR, but number of corrections or remarks they want from you, number of clarifications they want, but you are not opening the mail and you have not clarified all the doubts. So it will be also a bad remark for the institute also. So time to time you have to follow up the mail that what the auditors are telling regarding the submission of the AQAR. So with this, I have just summarized the whatever features of NAC. So one part I have finished. So next I am starting the next part, that is regarding an overview of NBA. So NAC, I can summarize one thing, that there are few terminologies are there, that is IQSC, AQAR, HEI, data template. So these are the key words that are very much related with nowadays with the NAC processing. Whenever we carry out any work as a documentation work, we also use this kind of keywords. So make sure that these words are known to you and you know the meaning of these words. Okay. Now with the NBA. So the NBA, we know that National Board of Accreditation. So we faced the audit of NBA in the month of February 2019. So in the 2019, we have already faced NBA. The faculty members who were present at that time, they know it very well that how we have managed, how we have prepared different documentation, how we have faced the audit. So the NAC, what we faced in 2017, they have given a span of 5 years, and the 5 years of span is going to finish in the year 2022, whereas in the NBA also the year span of year 3 years of span is going to finish on 22. So 2022 is the year where we have to face 2 gigantic audits. So NBA is one of the major bodies of accreditation for higher education system as that of the NAC, but the difference is that it actually accredits the technical program. The technical program like the engineering or the management programs, whereas the NAC accredits general colleges and universities. Okay, so these are the basic difference of the NAC and NBA. So NBA is totally for the technical courses, whereas NAC is both for the technical as well as the general colleges. Okay, so NBA was first established under AICT, but nowadays it is operated as an autonomous body. In the year 2014, it was granted as a full membership status in the Washington Accord. NBA accredits program and not the institute. NBA actually accredits a program. What program? Either it may accredit the undergraduate program or a postgraduate program. So accreditation field include engineering, technology, management, pharmacy, architecture, etc. The Washington Accord is the international accreditation agreement for the undergraduate professional engineering academic degrees between the bodies responsible for accreditation in its signatory countries and regions. So from India, National Board of Accreditation, that is NBA, falls under this Washington Accord. This Washington Accord actually make the equivalence of the program in the international level. So whatever degree college is having, a student is having a degree affiliated with NBA, can be taken under consideration the weightage of the equivalence of the degree with the other country also, like Sri Lanka, Korea, USA, everything, which country will be under this Washington Accord. Okay, so from India, NBA is the body that is under the Washington Accord. So the main impact of accreditation over here, in order to encourage the quality improvement initiative by the institution, improve student enrollment both in terms of quality and quantity. An institute having one NAC and NBA just increases its weightage. So the student enrollment will automatically increase. So that will also help the institution in securing its infrastructure, in securing its research facility in the institute. It also enhances the employability of the graduates. The graduate will easily get a job when they are passing from an institute which is NAC or NBA accredited. So facilities and degree and mobility of the graduates and professionals motivates faculty to participate actively in the academic and related institutional activities. The involvement of the faculty members increase a lot whenever they make a group and they form a group and they carry out a number of group activities. So the bonding between the faculty members also play like a team role. Now, one of the important key feature of that NBA system is that the NBA actually deals with the outcome-based education system. So this outcome-based education system will be clarified by Mr. Hassan Reza sir. I am just giving the introduction of it. That is, the type of education system has been shifted from the teacher to the learning portion, learners. And whatever outcome we are getting, it is not the teaching purpose is not like for remembering or mugging of the lessons by the student. It is the application, how the students are applying, how the students are thinking, how the students are analyzing, how the students are applying the skills they have learned. That is the outcome. So we have to measure the outcome. We have to measure the outcome by the continuous assessment system. What we do with in every semesters, like 4 assessment system in the theoreticals and 3 assessment in the practicals. So this as continuous assessment system is the measurable unit, how the students are applying their thinking, analyzing capacity without remembering and mugging up. And that outcome-based education is coming a dominant role in nowadays education system. So according to the OBE given, it is an educational theory that bases each part of the education system around the goal. We have to specify the goal. We have to specify the program objective of the subject, that after learning this topic, what the knowledge the student is gaining. So that knowledge will be applied by the student or not. That we have to measure it. That we have to quantify it. So that is the outcome-based education coming, and the outcome-based education is the key factor of the NBA. This OBE system is not an integral part for NAC, but it is specifically for the NBA. Suppose, for example, I can say that a student can know the recipe of preparing a cake, but he is unable to prepare a cake. He is not competent to prepare a cake. So preparing successfully a proper cake following the recipe is the outcome. So outcome should be measured first by means of continuous assessment system, by means of analyzing their skills and developing their different arenas in their life. So outcome-based education system are very much specific, measurable and achievable with the help of this program objective. And the program objective is given by the NBA body itself. It is not that an institute has to prepare its program objective. The program objective is given by the NBA itself, and these are the 11 program objectives that will be discussed in detail by the Reza sir. And these program objectives are actually not for the time being, they are helping for them. These program objectives will be meaningful, or it will sustain through their entire life. Like ability to apply science and engineering, ability to express their idea, ability to apply in-depth knowledge. So these 11 program outcomes will be helpful for the students throughout their lifelong activity whenever they are in a specific field of pharmacy. So OBE specifies outcomes and the levels of outcomes, and learning objectives are described in terms of Bloom's. So we have already prepared question papers following Bloom's taxonomy. So following Bloom's taxonomy is the level we are demarcating, what type of questions we are giving, what type of level they will answer. So focusing not only on the remembering section, but also a question paper should be a mixture of evaluating, analyzing and utilization of their skills. So the focus shifts from the teaching to the learning, and the teacher nowadays is becoming very important, that the teacher should emphasize to the individual student, because we know that every student do not have the same capacity, learning capacity rather. So it is important for the teacher to concentrate the individual ability of the student, and accordingly they will act or react with the students, etc. The model has a student-centered learning approach where the lecturers act as a facilitators. So nowadays we call it as facilitators, not as a lecturers. We call it as facilitators because the facilitators are the people, they will help to carry out their journey of their education life. So the student can prepare their notes, the student can get their information from internet, the student can go through the different kinds of journals. So the acquiring knowledge by the students can be of different sources, and the teachers will guide them. So teachers are the facilitators. Why I am explaining this? Because these are the key features for MBA, which is not present in the NAC. NAC is not quantifying anything, but but NBA is going for a quantification process. So study guides help the learners to organize their learning activities and group work. Continuous assessment and self-assessment are the major features. What we face every time that we have to prepare 4 question papers, we have to carry out 4 CAs, but what is the actual importance of CA is that through the CA we can measure the outcome of the student. So being an outcome-based education system, we have to continue the CA and we have to prepare the question paper following the Bloom's taxonomy. And then after we can quantify a student and we can also show that how they are improving in their education life. So we know that from the Bloom's taxonomy, from lower order thinking skills to higher order thinking skills, and all these are very much related to NBA. So with this, I have completed my presentation, which is an overview of NAC and NBA. So I will hand over the mic to Mr. Reza sir, and he will continue with in detail about the outcome-based education system and so on. So I request sir to come on to the stage. Thank you. Thanks.
Good afternoon all. Today's topic, most of the important primary aspects has been discussed by Parmika madam, and I will just continue it in further details. Before starting my discussion regarding the topic, I would firstly like to acknowledge the persons who had given me the chance to speak over here, the issues that is related to NAC, NB and accreditation. In fact, these terms were quite alien to me like when I was in 2016. And I would like to first acknowledge my mentor, that is Professor Dr. Pranavesh Chakraborty sir, who had helped me to carry on with my nonsense works which I had done previously and blunders. And then right now I think I know a little bit something I have learned out of these many years of blunders. And secondly, I would also like to acknowledge some other people whose works I had taken as a part of it, like Professor S.K. Das, Professor Anup Kumar Ray from Center of Education Technology, IIT Kharagpur. I had attended his MOOCs course, that is Accreditation and Outcome-Based Learning, and also Mr. N.J. Rao from ISC Bangalore and Mr. K. Rajnikant from MS Ramaiah Institute of Technology, Bangalore. I have also attended another course related to NDA accreditation and teaching learning. So all the discussions we will be finding over here will be having one or the other imprints from those knowledge which I have gathered. Apart from there are other issues which I'll be discussing in the due course of time. So let us start. Okay. What we are going to learn. So I am discussing this topic as if what our faculty should do in order to achieve an outcome-based education. So how we should, how we can inculcate that habit. The first thing we should have is to have a learning objective or goal. Student and the teachers should have a connecting point. The connecting point is the learning objective. Learning objective is the bridge which enables the students to understand like what they are going to learn from a particular topic. Let it be a topic for today. It will not be compiling the whole syllabus or whole chapter. But today's topic I have prepared, being a teacher, of certain objective that has to be fulfilled. And this message has to be reached to the students. So that's what we call it as a learning objective. So what is our today's learning objective is to understand the basic terminologies related to OBE in light of NAC and NDA accreditation. Next, applying the concept of Bloom taxonomy in developing the COs. And of course, the main part or chunk of it is assessing the utility of collaborative approach. That is a new thing. If we remember who have done the NAC last time, they have used one term called Eastern approach. Now, I have some what you call these Eastern and Western approaches. These terms are quite contradictory. Lot of cases I will discuss. But anyhow, we have something called Eastern approach in combination with the Western approach. So it's a hybridization, you can say, to get a total outcome-based education. So OBE, we are actually what we are targeting is not just OBE; it's a total OBE. So I will just ask you if you can just yes or no, that will be sufficient for me. Do you know Institute Vision? Anyone? I think it has been changed now. Okay. Do you know Mission? Have you seen any time? Okay. PEO, Program Education Objective. PO maybe you have seen because we have prepared the COs and the POs and it has been uploaded in our website. So probably you may know about this PO. There are 12 POs, Madam told just now. And CO probably you know it. You have prepared or you have gone through it. So these are the primary aspects which we should know, and even the NBA or the NAC auditors will expect us to know. Basically, this CO, PO, PEO, these are mainly restricted to the NBA, but it has been seen this time that even the NAC is also moving towards the concept of COs and the POs. So probably it is better, we are preparing for NAC, why not, NBA, why not to keep the same thing for the NAC also? It will not be a bad thing for us. The new thing which I am adding up over here for today's topic is LO. Probably will not get this LO anywhere, but this is the very primary thing of achieving this course of journey for outcome-based education. So it starts from LO, learning objective. Each class is important. Each class is the connecting points which you join together, it gives the total CO. So when you say a CO to wholly, it may be confusing for a student, but when you discuss in terms of learning objectives each day, like today I am going to take so and so topics, by the end you will achieve some knowledge which is measurable. How we measure? There are some probing of measurement that we do in terms of CS. That is not a thing like always we should depend on CS. No. We may even take our own assessments. It may be a surprise test. It may be a internal class test, and those probings will justify how much the student has learned. No need. At the end of the class, just have an open discussion and forum, and you can come to a conclusion whether the students have learned or not. That's a way. So that you will come to know that okay, that today's class has given some outcome, like students has understood the topic. And moreover, what happens, the students will be more free to come with their doubts during the course of discussion. So LO is the very important, the primary thing for discussion. So let us start off one by one, okay? Like mostly you are knowing these terms, mission, vision, PEO, PO. So, do you have any idea of how you define it? Can you tell how it is different from mission?
The basic thing is that what I have said in the vision and mission. So in case of vision, we have to prepare the students so that they can face any kind of situations which can be dynamic. They have an ability to face any kind of situation obstacles. And in case of mission, we have to prepare them in such a way so that they can absorb in anywhere with their skill. That is the basic thing. What research, everything, preparation, know about the course, everything is fine. Both lines or sentences are there. What I have gathered, but basic thing what I have, the difference I have seen. In case of mission, whenever a student will come out from this institution, he or she must have that kind of skill so that he can absorb somewhere. And in case of vision, any obstacles will come, then by the application of the subject, he can overcome the obstacle.
Okay. So anyhow, we have got some informations. Rather than going for introspection, I am just going to another topic, that is mission, vision. Next is PEO, Program Education Objective. If Raja sir is saying what he said, that how the students will be performing over beyond your course after completing the course is something is related or relevant to your mission and vision, then what will you define as PEO, that is Program Education Objective? Anyone? See, this is not like one-sided. This monologue discussion is very clumsy better.
Sir, vision is how I see after, or what I want to do. Mission is how I am doing it.
Yeah,
And-
somewhat.
And PEO
Yes.
is for pharmacy. If I take the example, what is the objective of studying pharmacy education?
Yeah, almost. Madam has almost hit that bullseye. So I will just go for it. So first start with a vision. Vision means the perspective. So vision means something you forecast. Is something you are forecasting. Futuristic statement that institutions would like to achieve over a long period of time. So what you expect it's in a layman manner, what you expect your students to be after 25 years or 20 years, where you want your students to be placed and see these institutions outcome. So that's the vision. It's a very long-term goal. It's a very long-term goal. Okay. So if I go to our new vision, as vision and missions has been changed as per the proposal of NBA. Okay, NBA has asked for upgradation, so as per that we have gone for changing. Sir has helped us a lot. So as per that, I will just hit upon the primary words which will help you to understand the thing. No need to copy this vision and mission. I am not going to ask for the MCQs. It's not possible. So please, rather than going to the writing the vision and mission, you can get it outside. I am just putting the small areas where you have to concentrate. Like you see in this, what it states. Who have opted for pharmacy? Like the students who are opting for pharmacy, what we expect that a skilled pharmaceutical human resource should be developed, and which will meet the dynamic challenges of pharmaceutical industry, hospital pharmacy, regulatory affairs, under the statutory organization of government private sectors, pharmaceutical entrepreneurship, and all relevant healthcare sectors to serve the society with a lifelong commitment of professional ethics. I just forgot the initial ferocity and penchant for research, that is growing in the field of research, it means. So these are the expectations from our students in long run. So that's the vision of our institute. It's a long-term goal. Secondly, as Madam told, how to accomplish a vision, how to achieve a vision, how to reach to a vision is something we call it as a mission. So it says the proposes to move towards the stated vision. How will we move towards the stated vision? So as we get it, we call it as a mission. So as we have, I'm just reading it out, to produce highly, so how will you achieve a highly competent manforce for the humankind service? To produce, how to, by producing a high skilled pharmacy human resource with continued academic ferocity and penchant for research, with commitment for concept of lifelong learning, to meet the dynamic requirements of the ever-expanding pharmaceutical industries, hospital pharmacies, pharmaceutical entrepreneurship, services under the government and all other relevant health sectors. As an important member of healthcare team with a lifelong commitment to uphold dignity of profession and professional ethics, commensuration of professional of pharmacy with emphasis on quality health care services in respective area of service. So this is the way or path or the track on which we are going to work in order to reach our vision. Next comes accomplishment of the mission. So this is your mission, you know the road, you know what's your goal. Now how you are going to reach to the road is what we are calling it as PEO, the objectives. There should be some definite objectives which should be fulfilled. Where you will be fulfilling? Who will be fulfilling? Your program will be fulfilling. Which is our program? Pharmacy is our program. So undergraduate B Pharmacy program should fulfill some demands. After that demands are fulfilled, then only we can say that we are walking in track. That is, what is the immediate requirement we expect from a graduates after they pass the BPharm exam. That's what we call it as a program education objective. So these are some of them, like pursuing higher studies in India and abroad. That's the one of them. You know that when we go for your placement related documentations, we find that we give higher studies as well as your placement. So pursuing higher studies is also one of the goal after your UG. Next, imbibing the knowledge that is related to the industry or the pharmaceutical industry. Next, another sector is your hospital pharmacy, clinical pharmacy, pharmacovigilance, community pharmacy, the clinical area. Next, of course, regulatory sector, government sectors related to drug control administration, scientific officers, government analyst, healthcare service under the government, private organizations. So these are related to the regulatory aspect. And lastly, opting for teaching as a profession. So these are the immediate expectations, immediate openings which will make us to work towards our mission that will lead to the vision. So this is what we call it as program education objectives. So to achieve the primary qualities that has to be fulfilled during fulfillment of program education objective, it demands something from your program. In order to be working in an industry or hospital or your regulatory agencies or as a faculty or a teacher, it requires some basic criteria that has to be fulfilled from the program, your BPharm program. So this we call it as program objectives or POs. These are called as the program objectives or POs. So the program objective or POs, what we mean is what the graduates are expected to perform and achieve during or at the moment of graduation, and this is also known as graduate attributes. So during the total 4 years, what the students should be aided or should be having during the passing of or graduation of the particular program, we call it as the program objectives. Now these program objectives are, Madam told, like there are 11 to 12 program objectives that are present. So these program objectives are classified into two types. There are two classification heads for these program objectives. One we call it as program specific objectives, another is program non-specific objectives. So these are the two things we should remember. Firstly, program specific objectives are certain things like those program objectives which can be transferred, imbibed with the influence of the course, which you can transfer to the students directly as a textual or theoretical or practical aspect of knowledge. That's called as your program specific objectives or PSO. Next, we have something called as program non-specific objectives, that is realizing the self-realizing qualities. Now, just to have a knowledge and to execute a knowledge, it's a wide difference. For having a knowledge, you can have books, you can have practical classes, you can search anything, you can have a course, but to apply the knowledge, you need lot of extra qualities beyond the theoretical aspect. So that's what we call it as program non-specific objectives or outcomes. So let me go for this PSO, that is program specific objectives. We have this 4 program specific objectives according to the NBA, that is pharmacy knowledge, next planning abilities, thirdly problem analysis, and modern tool usage. These are actually the program specific objectives. Here, to gain this knowledge, you need to have practical classes, you need to have theoretical classes. To gain this knowledge, obviously we have a measurable probing system, that is examinations like CS or class test or practical exams. Somehow we can analyze this and we can say that okay, so and so students are capable of having so knowledge or the program objective at the end of 4 years. But if you go for the program non-specific objectives, this includes leadership skill, professional identity, pharmaceutical ethics, communication, pharmacists and society, environmental sustainability, and lifelong learning. This you cannot directly inject inside the student in terms of a theory class or a practical class or even exams. It has to be imbibed during the process of imbibation of program specific objectives. You need to discuss in terms of while you take the other classes, or these program non-specific objectives generally gets imbibed from the faculty to the students. Is imbibation process. People learn by seeing others. People learn by seeing their seniors. People learn by seeing their faculties or their gurus, or people learn by seeing their parents. So these are the qualities you cannot limit to a specific topic. But as NDA says, each subject have one or the other skill involved other than the program specific objectives. There are certain subjects where you need to have the knowledge. Almost every subject demands the knowledge of pharmaceutical ethics. Ethics doesn't mean it's a forensic pharmacy. Most of the people make a mistake with that. It's a forensic pharmacy. It's not like that. Every subject during the whole profession demands an ethics. So it has to be imbibed by us to the student. Communication skill. Now this communication skill, you may not say, sir, for communication skill, how can a subject be? So there should be an English. No. Every subject, one or the other way, to certain extent, demands some communication skill that has to be imbibed to the students. Pharmacy and the society, environmental sustainability, these we have to measure. So it is totally depending upon the faculty to give the weightage of each of the program non-specific objectives. There is no compulsion. As we know, we have prepared a COPO and COPO mapping, but that is totally relying on a faculty. A faculty, if he thinks, no, this weightage has to be increased as per his concern, he can change it as per the requirement. So these things firstly needs a little bit of understanding and adaptation before its implementation. Here I use something I forgot, that is I use PSO, that is IQ, and PNO, that is non-specific object, as EQ. There is a term actually in intelligence we use in psychology. There is a term called IQ, intelligence quotient, or IQ. Another is EQ, that we call it as emotional intelligence. So now, as per a lot of psychologists, they say that for a person to be successful in any field, there needs a contribution of 80% of emotional intelligence and 20% of your normal IQ or the knowledge. So if you see somehow this remaining 7 or 8 program non-specific objectives, somehow it aligns with your emotional intelligence. How a student or a graduate is emotionally intelligent, that will determine the extent of the success of the program non-specific objectives. So below the program objectives comes individual subjects or the courses, that we call it as the CO. We know this term, that is a course objective or the subject objective. So if we say each subject is, this is the course objective, what if you want to define it, it is a statement which is observable, measurable and achievable. So this is a term which we use for COs, student activity that serve as evidence of knowledge, skill and attitudes acquired in a course. So these are the things what we expect the students to do or have it and to achieve it, and also we can measure it. So this is the thing, the term which we use it as observable, measurable and achievable. Students activity, so after doing so, what it happens is it enhances the knowledge, the skill and the attitude of the student for that particular subject. When we are making a student to understand something, we target to enhance their knowledge, their skill and their attitude towards the particular subject. So that is what we define as your CO. POs are attained through program specific core courses. So to achieve this PO, that 12 POs at the end of your UG, you need the help of individual courses or the COs. Generally the COs which you have prepared, probably you know or not, like it has two parts in it. One we call it as the action verb. So I think most of all of you do have accustomed with the Bloom taxonomy. So if you see the Bloom's taxonomy, it actually deals with a verb. So that's the word we call it as the action verb. It is the heart of the whole CO. And the next one is the learning statement. So a CO, if you take a statement, it has two sections. One, we call it as an action verb, and the action verb defines a definite learning statement. Bloom taxonomy is used to justify this action verb, as I told. CO gives best fit to entire syllabus at all angles with a bird's eye view. So this is a very important thing. What I have seen some of the times when myself and Basu sir was discussing a lot of COs that has been said, it was just being copied as 5 COs means 5 units. It's totally wrong. Please make it a point. 5 COs doesn't mean unit 1, 1 CO, unit 2, 1 CO, unit 3, 1 CO, unit 4, 1 CO. If you do it, that is blunder. COs are 5. We made it 5. It can be 4. It can be 3 also. No issue. But since we maintained a decorum from last year, last NBS, we kept it as a 5. The 5 COs are a bird's eye view. Hopefully you understand what you mean a bird's eye view. It's just a superficial view of whole subject. Let me give an example. Suppose if, I think you know this Bloom's taxonomy, I'm not wasting time on this. And okay, so when we say of CO, suppose let us take a subject, take Samanto sir's pharmacology, suppose. So pharmacology, when we are saying a pharmacology, because that is very easy, so I took that. Other subjects is a little bit difficult. So firstly, let us consider pharmacology as a subject. So if you are asked to prepare a CO, you should prepare, the best CO will be the CO which will cover all the chapters of that whole subject. Like when we are preparing the CO, it may be the first CO that is relating to the classification of the drug. Classification of a drug. Second CO the students will learn is the mechanism of action of the drug. The third CO, the students will be learning about the adverse drug reactions and its contraindications. The fourth CO will be its therapeutic uses. The fifth CO, it will be its extended application, suppose. So these are the 5 COs. Now if you want to take this CO to a diuretic chapter, it is successful. If you take it to a cardiovascular chapter, it is successful. If you take it to another chapter, it is successful. Mostly, probably it will not be successful maybe for general pharmacology, but apart from that, mostly it will cover the whole syllabus. So when you prepare the COs should give an overview of the whole syllabus rather than section wise. If you prepare the CO section wise, it is very difficult to calculate the CO attainments, which we will come to know. So try to prepare the CO in the most simplest fashion. Don't make the things complicated. What you understand, the basic gist, put it there. And that will be helpful in percolating the ideas to the even to the NAC auditors that we know it. So here we have made, I think this is for pharmacognosy. I think so this we have something, I'm just reading it out, just you can see it almost covers a pharmacognosy. If there is something wrong, you can correct me. Like firstly is to illustrate the basic plant metabolites and the various metabolic pathways to form secondary metabolites. Second CO is to describe the details of phytochemicals for various pharmacological use. Third CO to discover the modern extraction techniques and characterization of herbal drugs and phytoconstituents. The fourth CO is to demonstrate the isolation and identification of phytoconstituents. And the fifth CO is to ascertain the modern evaluation techniques for herbal drugs. I don't know which subject it is exactly, but probably it is taken from our enlisted COs only, practically what some of our faculty has prepared. So from there I have taken. So you can see that this topic, it covers almost the entire course. So that is the essence of a CO. So we should try to prepare the COs. And obviously you can see these words are being highlighted. So these are your action verbs. We should choose the action verb as per requirement. People, we do have a tendency of pushing the action verbs to the higher levels. If you remember, like if this is the like remembering to understanding, understanding to applying, analyzing, evaluating, creating. So we have a tendency of pushing our action verbs to the higher levels always. Please don't do that. If it is required to remember only, just give a remember. If the course objective says it needs only understanding, use the term understanding. No need to push or have a jugglery of words to push it to the applying or analyzing to that level. No need to push it. Each subject has its own beauty and essence. So we should keep it in that fashion. So if we say that alignment of achieving the outcome-based education, it's the way which I have discussed right now. It starts from your learning objective, your day-to-day class. It is achieved after achieving the course objective which you complete after completion of a semester when you complete a course, which is further achieved when we achieve the program outcome, the whole examination, and they successfully clear or graduate from the B Farm. Then we move to the employability, so that with this knowledge what they have gathered as POs, they can be placed in different working sectors in industries related to pharmacy, which will further lead us to the vision, our target goal through the path of mission. So this is the journey of OB. It's a very long journey. Even to be frank to say, we have seen the outcomes of such journeys. As right now, I do have some of my students sitting as a faculty over here. So they have, with them I completed my outcomes program outcomes, PEOs. So they are in with us with the traveling in the journey of mission and vision. So this is a continuous process. If I am there or if you are there, if you are not there, this triangle will be constantly moving. We cannot stop this. Till this college exists, this triangle exists. So this is another. Now we are going to the technical ground. So ma'am, so this is a bit technical ground. So till now, hopefully the things were a little bit easier to digest. Now little bit will increase the complexity. Like how we are going to do the CO and PO mapping. So COs, you came to know what is COs, how to prepare the COs. You also came to know that we have some 12 POs. Now how to map these COs and POs. So this is totally or entirely in the hands of the faculty. There is no rules or demarcations that has been given. The faculty should analyze the topic, should see the course, and should see to what extent all the POs, whether they are matching, to what extent they are matching, relevancy of their matching to the COs which they have prepared. There is no compulsion that all the COs should match with all the POs. So there are some criteria which has been given. So we have divided the level of correlation into three levels. That is, you can code it as 1, that is a very low level of correlation between CO and PO. Next, moderate or medium level of correlation, that is given as 2. Substantial or very high level of correlation, that is given as 3. And if you find that this particular PO is not fitting with any of the COs, you can just give it as no correlation by giving it as a blank. There is no compulsion that if you are having 5 COs, that 5 COs should compile with all the POs. If you find that it is not getting compiled or it is complied, you just give a blank. If you are confused, if you are new to this subject, if you are taking, suppose for the newcomers I am saying, if you are new to this subject and if you find it little bit difficult to make justification, you take the help of your seniors. So they can help you in justifying to what extent you can take the consideration of the POs. Okay? So this is the table actually. Hopefully you have seen in the website also, it is being done. So we have prepared up to what some extent we have prepared, but that is not fixed. You can change it. If you need, you can change it. It is always we can upgrade this. Now next is the attainment of course outcome. Let me say what we are considering in our markout system. Dhananjay sir also knows that thing. For last 3 years, I think, sir, the CA has started. Yes. 3 years. So 3 years, the CA1, CA2, CA3, CA4, this pattern has started. But this pattern exactly doesn't fit with the pattern of what the NBA demands. Because NBA demands an uniform style of evaluation. So if we are having CA, all the CAs should be of the similar pattern. Like if you are preparing subjective, objective and essay question, all the 4 should be the same. But you know that as per the university concern, we have 3 or 4 different variations we have to take the exam. So that cannot justify the requirement of NBA if we go for individual exams. So what we have discussed, I think Basu sir also knows that, like we are going for taking the average. So based on the average performance of the student holistically, we are giving the attainment levels. Otherwise it is not possible to calculate in any ways this calculation. Then we have to conduct all the exams as per all the same, it should be having same grading, similar type of questions. It is not possible to fulfill the demand of markout. So that's the thing. So this is the thing we are doing. We are taking the average, and based on the average what we are getting the marks. So So those average marks are considered for the CO level attainment studies. So probably this CO attainment study I cannot fulfill today because firstly it is very humdrum and then it is very boring also. We need a separate session. So madam, if give me a second chance to discuss in details, I may go, because I think this session is becoming lengthy and boring from me also and from you also. We generally scold the students while the classes are on. So we do feel when we sit over there, sometimes it becomes very boring. So anyhow, measuring the course outcome attained through university examinations, I just read out. Target may be stated in terms of percentage of students getting more than the university average marks or more as selected by the program in the final examination. So it has to be demarked. Like how much should be the pass mark? If the examination system is giving, okay, this should be the demarcation mark, we should follow that demarcation mark. Or else we internally, in-house, we can develop, this should be the demarcation mark for the discussion. So that we'll discuss later. So for cases where the university does not provide useful indicators like average or median marks, the program may choose an attainment level on its own with justification. That is being given, flexibility. This is the words from NBA only, it's not my word. Let us consider. So measuring the course outcome attained through university. So in what ways you can say the course outcome is being attained? So if you want to give the good mark, so level 1 is saying at least 60% of the student is scoring more than the university percentage mark. That is, at least, if you say in a layman manner, at least 60% of the students should pass the exam. If minimum 60% of the student is passing the exam, I am giving them the minimum grade of 1 to achieve the course. CO has been achieved to the level of 1. Since only 60% students have cleared the exam, which we are following. Suppose if that percentage, instead of 60%, if 70% of the students is clearing the exam, what we are using as a measurable unit for probing, so we can give a much better mark, that is level 2. That is, we can give a marks of 2. That is, it has attained the next higher level of correlation. And if 80% or more is clearing the examination, then we can say it has, the CO has attained to its highest level, and we can give a marks of 3. So there's 3, 2, 1. So maximum we can give 3. So if you take an examination and you have cleared, and your students like 90% have cleared the examination, then you can say the total CO achievement is 3. You can give 3 in there. Now if suppose in an examination which previously used to happen with my subject, that is biopharmaceutics, there was a very slow rate of passing previously, not now. So there, if it is getting reduced, so suppose 50% student passed the examination. The problem that was there was the mathematics. So 50% of the student passed. So what happened? If I say what is the CO level attainment? 0. Because 60% didn't got, 50% student passed. So what is the attainment level? 0. So hopefully you understood the concept of this marks 3, 2, 1.
Sir, last.
Now you can tell, sir, because
No, doubt is that 60, 70%, 80%, that is remark is fixed by NBA or ourselves only?
no, this has been given by NBA, this part. But NBA has not given us like what should be the least mark, pass mark. Pass mark should be as per the university pass mark, or if it is not there, like if it's a deemed university or autonomous, so it depends on us to fix it. So we can fix accordingly. But as we are doing, we are following the university, probably I think so, sir. So passing mark, how many passed as per university? If it is 60%, level 1, 1 marks. If it is 70%, level 2. If it is 80% and above, it is level 3. So this is the thing, measuring CU attainment through now there are another thing, the way of taking exam. Yes.
I would like the CO, CO1, CO2 we have given. Now the thing is that this is set by NBA committee or this is set by ourselves?
COs are set internally.
Internally.
Yeah.
But actually in the new syllabus of the PCI, there is in the every subject there is some course objective is given.
Yeah, I know that.
So that is not relevant here.
No, that is a part of our relevancy.
Okay.
What we have prepared, I think we have
Old
considered
syllabus
those.
There was not there.
Yeah?
In the old syllabus, this course of
Yeah.
was not given
No.
in this subject.
No.
So,
Actually, it should be there.
yeah.
When a university or a PCI or any body is giving a syllabus, it is their duty to fix the objectives. Because they are a higher authority, they are saying to teachers, so they should know better than us. But what we are doing, NBA is giving a free hand relaxation that you can devise it in much better way. The more better way you can devise, the more better way you can serve the students. So since if you go through our COs, which is available in our website, it is being designed based on the platform of the COs which has been given in the syllabus by Macau, which is a reflection of PCI syllabus. Basu sir, I hope so. This is the correct thing. I think sir has been what I can say, the main pillar of preparing the COs. So myself I was there, Basu sir was there, SK sir was there. So probably we have taken the consideration of the objective that has been given by the Macau. PCI, yes. So let us come back to the topic of, so this is the same thing. So when we are discussing probably evaluation point, we know that all our evaluation point has two sections. One is external and another is internal section. Internal section is the internal examinations that we take it. And external section is the university exams. We have 2 points of evaluation. So here also the NBA is saying that when you are considering this correlation, you have to take the consideration of the marks which is obtained in the internal exam as well as the marks which is obtained in the external exam. Well, for the marks in the external exam, the minimum pass mark has been given by the university. Probably for the internals also, I think they do give any lower benchmark. So I think we maintain our own internal benchmark, so that based on that we devise that who has passed the exam, who has failed the exam. So like that we have two sections. One is for final exam, university exam, and internal exams. These are taken. We see how many students are passing in this, to what extent the students are passing, 60%, 70%, 80%. Internals, for the same subject, we see how many students are passing, whether it is 60, 70 or 80 or above. Likewise, we demark them separately and then make accumulation. That I am showing in the next slide. So you can see over here, suppose in my subject, biopharmaceutics, attainment through university exam, if we see, it was found that 80% of above students have got the pass mark. Means more than 80% students has passed the examination. So I gave a marks of 3. Next, for internal exams, they have performed little bit poor. So only 70% suppose have passed the examination. So for that I have given for the internal 2. Okay. Now when we are calculating cumulative, so the calculation is given at the bottom. You can see we have to take the consideration if 100% is the total marks. If 100% is the total marks, If 100% is the total marks, NBA says you divide it into two sections, 70% weightage for external examination and 30% weightage for internal examination. So what it will be? So you gave 3. You gave 3 for external examination. So that will be 70%. So 70% of 3, that is 2.1. And 30% of 2, that is the internal exam, you will get around 0.6. So what is the total? That is 2.7. So this total evaluation is coming out of 3 only, which comprises of the university as well as internal level of examination. So we add it and we get it as 2.7. So this 2.7 is coming out of 3. Okay? Any doubts? Because as you know, next this is going to come to your plate only, everyone.
If 2.7 is acquired, তারপরে আর কিছু লেভেল আছে কি মানে এটা কোথায় দাঁড়ালো
ওটা ফাইনাল লেভেল তো দিস ইজ দ্য ফাইনাল লেভেল
আমি একটু বাজে স্টুডেন্ট
which one
60% students scoring more than 60% marks out of 11 maximum marks.
here actually we have considered 60% as the pass mark. Suppose we are considering 60% as the, it is an example. So 60% students getting 60% or above, so we are getting, but below than 70% we are giving it 1. Next level, next level.
60% is the lower cut.
Yes, it is being taken over here. Yes. So later we will be having a separate session. In details I will be discussing all the slides and along with the PowerPoint. It will make it much clear.
So last slide, previous. So that statement is not clear. 60% students scoring more than university average percentage.
So this is suppose your average percentage marks to be passed or you are judging.
So university average percentage marks means suppose
It is
we have
40.
100 students, somebody scores 6.
No. It's like pass mark. Suppose 60% you are qualifying.
So but I think 40% is the quality.
No, let it be. I'm not saying. I'm saying this is an example.
No, what we did.
That's what I'm saying. If this is an example, this has been taken from the example of NBA. They are giving it as an example. Suppose 60% is the you are taking as the qualifying. So 60% কতজন পেয়েছে? How many? If it is 60%, then it is the lowest level. If it is
The example, but what we have done.
That's what I'm saying, madam. We are not going for that. This is a general discussion. That's why I told her, like, we need to have a separate discussion. It cannot be completed in just a miniature of 1 hour. It takes time. Okay?
আর ওরকম ভাবে 2.7 বেরোনো মানে ইন্ডিভিজুয়াল স্টুডেন্টের পেছনে বেরোনো
না, এটা বেরোলো as a whole for the CO. তুমি যেটা বের করছো, what you are getting is for the whole group of students. Yes, 60% students.
Subject.
60% students.
ইগো অ্যাটেনমেন্ট অ্যাকচুয়ালি
Whole CO attainment.
আরে আমার বুঝতে দিন না
Masters
So 2.7 means like this is for the whole bunch of class who has attained. Yes. So their attainment is not so good or so bad. It's somewhat in between. So it's like 70% or 80% এর মাঝামাঝি. So
বলছি তার মানে এটা কি পুরো সাবজেক্ট ওয়াইজ হলো তাই তো সাবজেক্ট ওয়াইজ 2.7 হলো
yes.
at the end of the semester.
Yes. Because individually next after that we should go for a next level. এতজন বন্ধা থাক না হলে আজকে শেষ হবে না। না শেষ হয়নি, এখন বাকি আছে। Okay. So what is the thing? Why are we doing so? These are some of the questions that might be coming to your mind right now. I would like to say, like, why are we doing so much? As a thing. From madam to a lot of things. I am telling a lot of big boulders are dumping on your heads. But the issue is, why are we doing so much? Number 1. Number 2, what does the NDA and NAC expect from us? The second thing. And the third thing, what should be our goal of focus? These are the primary questions probably is running in your head. So if you say the answer, it's the outcome-based education. Everything we are doing from LO to vision is the outcome-based education. Now, outcome-based education is not an elixir which comes in the market as a bottle. You open and give it to the mouth of the students, they will have it. It's not so. It's an attitude that has to be imbibed and has to be populated. It has to be imbibed first by the teachers and next it has to be populated. If we demand the same thing, it will be a nuisance that is actually happening. I will show you one after another. So, what is OBE right now? If you want to define the OBE, it is something like this. You can get it. We do it or we demand it. There should be our education system where we just percolate out the essential requirements of creativity, discipline and intelligence, both IQ and EQ, and we have a line of graduates which is coming out. This is a normal thing we are doing. This is not an OBE. This is the most common thing nowadays in each interviews. You will be coming to know who are in close contact with the placement cell. So they don't know what they should tell or what the employer is expecting from them. That's not clear. This is another big issue. So this is the negative issues which we faced during these 4-5 years when we have done MBA and we are seeing or we were in close contact with outcome-based education. This was the situation with the students. This was also not OBE. This is a very good comic. You will see most of the times in the Google image. Here it says like two boys. They are saying, one is saying that I taught that dog how to whistle. The other boy is just seeing and saying, I don't see that that dog can whistle. He said that okay, I just told that I taught him. He learned or not, I don't know. So this is another. So this is generally happening actually. It's sad to say it's from our side, and if this happens, this is also not the outcome-based education. Outcome-based education, if you think it's a documentation, I'm sorry, it is not so. By documentations, you can give covering to certain extent, but you cannot hide the bad smell which will be coming out. You can cover the thing with papers, with documents, everything, but you cannot hide the bad smell of non-outcome based education that we are still. That's the thing. So what we do generally, another issue, this is a common thing. We are sitting up at the top and the students are there. Macaut is saying you have to submit this, you do this. Assignment has to be submitted. Anyhow, we don't know, you have to submit. Ultimately, what is happening? Nothing is happening. So this is also not outcome-based education. So what does OBE says actually? Definition. I think Madam gave the same definition before. Like outcome or competency-based education is a process that involves the restructuring of curriculum, assessment and reporting practice in education to reflect the achievements of high-order learning and mastery rather than accumulation of course credits, which is happening right now. So hopefully we are getting the essence of what actually the OBE means, of outcome-based education means. What the NBA will do actually, that they have done previously, they will select a full year, like batch so and so. Show me what is the development from the first year till the final year. So SAR of the NBA is like that only. First year, how many pass, how many fail. Second year, how many pass, how many fail. They will start from the time when they have got the admission. So what was their joint entrance rank, or how much rank they have got. So they will be tracked for the 4 years. And for the final year, how many of them have got the job, how many of them has been placed, how many has gone for higher studies. So they will track the whole batch for the 4 years, and you will see what is the final outcome. So this is the thing they are going to evaluate. So for that, There are various measuring probes like CO-PO, CO-PO correlations, CO-PO correlations. So these are the scales by which they will judge what is the outcome of the students. Okay. So the need for OBE, that's the thing. Globalization is one of the thing. Transmission of expert knowledge as a build, what is required for building learner competency, including learning to learn and lifelong learning. That means focus will be on, that is skill development, competency and skill development, and prepare the global professionals for the future. These are the two main aims for OBE. So the concept of OBE was first given by William Spaddy. He says very good words over here, that outcome-based outcome-based education or outcome-based learning does not mean curriculum-based with outcomes sprinkled on the top. What we do generally sometimes, we just sprinkle the outcomes for the sake of documentation. It says it's a transformational way of doing business in education. So this is being said by William Spaddy. He is called the father of OBE. It was started in US first. So these are the 5 sections of OBE pyramid. Hope so if we have some time later we can discuss. Is OBE enough for quality education? So this is a big question. So again we can put this OBE in a question mark. This is the thing which happens with us. Like we are giving efforts, faculty is giving efforts, but the students not coming up for that effort. It's just like making the horse to drink the water. This is a thing happening. So this is also the negative issue that is relevant with the OBE. The real fact with the OBE is generally happens with us all, which we have, I do feel it, like we generally get students of lower ranks. Now it is getting good ranks. Last 2 years we are getting below 30,000, but in 2015 or 16 there were around ranks of 70,000, 80,000. The lowest ranks of joined used to come and join the college that time. It's just like the lower end, we try to tame the donkey to convert to a horse and make them run in the racetrack. Fortunately we have done it. We have done it. They are all successful. So I do believe we can make it. It need not to be the creams needed to make it work out. So in this way we are being given. So somewhat we face lot of challenges. This private colleges, we face a lot of challenges. We are being given something and they are being told you prepare something gold out of it. So getting outcome-based education from them is a challenge. But I am very happy to say that most of the faculties among us, they give their maximum effort and try to turn them to the thing which you see at the top. Another big issue is related to the OBE is always the probing point is either the teachers or the principal. This is the unfortunate thing. NAT and NBA never see the probing of their parents. In a whole day, if you calculate, the 50% of the time is with us. The remaining time they generally spend with the parents. I'm saying in general. So if you don't do that, if that is not there, the education will be shaky for a student. It always does not rely on the schools or the colleges. It also depends on the parents. So if you want an outcome, it should be from all the aspects. It cannot be only blamed the teachers to be not giving outcome-based education from the students. So some total context, weakening the idea of striving for success by eliminating the concept of failure. There's the first thing. Greater priority to the criteria-based assessment. Reduce importance of subject knowledge. Preference to skills and process. couched in educational jargons alienates classroom teachers. Greater workload, you know it is common to all. Greater workload for the teachers due to individual based diagnostics. So these are, you can say, the negative aspects what we face during outcome based education. This is a part of it. So when we have a discussion, I thought of including this so that we can have a 360-degree discussion rather than saying the good things and hiding the bad things. That will not be good. So what is the next approach they are saying it is collaborative approach for total outcome based education. Fusion of Western OBE with the Eastern approach of inner engineering. Now maybe it may be controversial to some, but it's like Eastern approach emphasizes more on moral, ethical and human values above the structured OBE of the West. You know or not, AICT have imbibed the subject of ethics and human values in the course and the curriculum, and also mostly almost all universities have imbibed that in their course materials also. Apart from that, Eastern approach tools like yoga, meditation, kung fu, tai chi, taekwondo, this is not in India. I'm saying most of the countries in the you can say in China, in Southeast Asia, they imbibe parallelly they go for imbibing these things in their learning process. So we do have yoga, you know, so its implementation, regular classes. We can have it because this is the next closest thing we can have it right now. There are some books which can be relevant or irrelevant or to certain extent be beneficial to the students. I don't think everything is there. Like I just this is the last slide of my discussion. Hopefully, I completed all my thing. It's a 4 o'clock, sir, madam. So I have saved a lot of time. So these are some of the books. I'm not saying you should read these books. These are books which I read or I am reading. This can be to a certain extent beneficial if you share the informations what you have with your students. Because see, now in this age of globalization, the knowledge what we said 5 years, 10 years back has turned into a data. Students have their mobile, they just click the mobile, and nowadays they are not even clicking the mobile, they speak on the mobile, they get all the informations. If they know the relevant sources, they will get it. The varying, the only thing they miss is the varying those informations. So there the teachers can help. So how to vary this varying, if teachers shows interest, that will be beneficial from the either side. These are some of the books I do believe can be helpful for us as well as for the students. If we can get some of the, there are much more other books. If we can get them in our library also, even our students will also be benefited out of it. So this is what conclusion. We have understood the essence of OBE as acquired for accreditation process. Also we discussed about its true status, and this is I think controversial point. We came Eastern approach. Some of the people don't like it. I just say a multiple approach should be taken so that we can achieve the OBE by hook or by crook. That's the thing. So that's all. Thank you.
So thank you, Reza sir, for the conduction of the delivery of the speech. And one thing I will want to add is that for the mission and vision, we have just heard from him the details and the modified version of mission and vision. The NBA has taken one step forward, that they are saying how you are percolating this mission and vision amongst your students. So in many colleges, auditors come and ask the students, can you tell me the mission and vision of your institute? So we have taken one step forward also. Apart from the installation of hoardings in the corridors, we are pasting that mission, vision and PO in the laboratory notebooks. So it has already been circulated among the students. They are pasting that mission PEO in their notebooks. So it is a request to all the faculty members who are taking the laboratory classes, please try to teach what is mission and PEO, and ask them from time to time what they actually mean from that part, because it is a big lengthy portion. It's not possible for the students to tell all those things. So just summarize the things and just convey the main meaning of the mission and vision to the students, so that that information can be percolated to them and student can answer the questions to the auditor. So the one step forward we have gone for pasting all the mission to the laboratory notebook. So it is a request to the students, to the faculty members, to please teach the mission in the laboratory classes, in the practical classes, so that become helpful to them also. So with this we have completed today's session, and now for the evaluation system. So I am distributing the question paper. Don't get nervous.